Good morning, this is Doug, and it is it's about 7 o'clock. I left Minneapolis area around 6. I stopped and grabbed some gas and such, but I'm headed up to the Boundary Waters for a 4-day, 3-night little journey. Pretty excited about that. I've been up there twice before, and this is actually going to be a solo trip for me. I'm excited and nervous because I haven't done much camping prior to those 2 trips to the Boundary Waters. You know, I certainly learned a lot. You know, when I was up there, I was with a group of friends, and I've, researched and, tried to prepare myself as best as possible for this trip coming up. But I know that there's no experience like the real deal, right? In any event, I'm going to be headed up to... I'm going to be getting onto the Gunflint Trail right out of Grand Marais, and then I believe the outfitter is called Rockwood Lodge. I'll be picking up my canoe there and putting into the Boundary Waters on Poplar Lake, and then my entry lake is going to be Lake Lizz. So should be exciting. Again, it's going to be a completely new experience for me. So follow along, have fun, and looking forward to getting to know some of you guys. Peace out. Right, it is about 10:40, and I am about 25 minutes from the Rockwood Lodge, which is my outfitter. So getting excited to get there, grab the canoe. I'll load up the canoe with my regular gear and head off. Oh yeah, this is definitely looking familiar now. This is pretty darn cool. I think, my buddies and I stayed up at a bunkhouse here last year. There was 6 of us, and so that was a lot of fun. The bunkhouse was really cool, rustic, just a heck of a lot of fun. Yeah, so here we are. I'm not going to really do any, videoing of the interactions inside, just because I'm just not comfortable doing that. So in any event, I'll see you on the water.
So I am just getting out on the Poplar Lake. First time in a, well, no, second time in a solo canoe. And if things go well, then looks like I could probably get into Gaskin by around maybe 6 or so. We'll see. Gotta take into account the newbie factor, right? So beautiful. All right. I'll catch up with you guys when I'm coming up on the first portage. All right, we have arrived at my first portage here. And we're gonna be going into, from Poplar into Lizz Lake, so. Yep. I just got onto Caribou Lake from the Lizz Lake Portage, and this is what I'm dealing with. Holy crap. Right at the end of that portage, getting onto Lizz, it was just a huge downpour. I got caught right in the middle of it, and I had my camera gear outside to quick, get that stowed away. But I ended up getting soaked. I mean, it was just crazy. I mean, the thunder was booming, like just insane. So anyway, I got down Lizz. That was quick. And then I got over into Caribou and found the portage from Caribou here onto Horseshoe. So I'm just jumping out on a Horseshoe, and the weather looks much more hospitable right now. So. Pretty basic setup. I got my little tent right up here at the top of the site. The kitchen, of course, this is where I'll be. If I do have some fires, this is where I'll do it. I'm going to get some breakfast set up here in just a minute. I'll walk you down to the where I've got the canoe stored. A little bit of a interesting walk down here. But yeah, pretty nice little view. So there you have it. All right, get a little breakfast going. A little bit of jerky to go. Garbage bag here. Something to wipe the, just wipes basically. Utensils. Ah, yeah, coffee. You know what? I need to put a little more water in. I kind of didn't account for the coffee thing. And maybe I did, I'm not sure. Probably a little too much water, I don't know. We'll see. I need coffee and oatmeal. Get my coffee set up. All right. Set that right there. One thing about not doing a fire, obviously, is that you can use your fire grate for kind of like a little table, so that's cool. All right, let's see. Oatmeal. Where are you? All sorts of little goodies. Peanut butter. Trail mix. Here we go. Here's my oatmeal. And feels like kind of a blueberry morning. I've got blueberry, peaches and cream, banana. I think blueberry's good. Yeah. Everything that's scented, you're supposed to put in your food bag and hang it. Because if it's scented, it's gonna, attract wildlife and such. And this morning when I was looking for my food, when I was looking for my food bag, I hung it late last night and I was pretty darn tired. And I actually had to walk around I knew it was in this general area, but yeah, couldn't find it at first, so I was panicking. Okay, let's see. Right after breakfast, I'll just talk a little bit about the trip in. Again, the fishing is going to be a little probably lackluster. I don't have any live bait. I'm trying to decide if I just want to go out and canoe around and take some nice pictures. I'd like to get onto Brule today. That's a bit of a trip. I look at some of these other YouTubers that are doing this and I'm like, I never took what they did for granted, but oh my God. Just that one instance of trying to deal with my camera gear in this rain and, this being my first time into the Boundary Waters by myself, it was pretty crazy. So, yeah. Interesting stuff. All right, we're going to get the coffee going first. And might as well make it strong. Got plenty. The thing I learned about making coffee like this is that if you pour it slow, it takes a little bit longer, but you definitely get a strong percolation. If you pour it fast, it doesn't seem to really kind of give you the lift that you need. Again, I'm a newbie here, so I'm sure there are plenty of better ways to do this. I know some people get their stoves with like coffee presses, like a jet boil or something. I don't know, this just seemed less to carry. All right, time for a little oatmeal. Oh yeah, not too bad, not too runny. That third packet was perfect. So this is blueberry banana. Last night I was so dang hungry when I got in. I had stuff all over the campground, disorganized, frustrated. Plus, I'm not able to get my inReach to connect so I can message my wife. So I hope she's not freaking out. You know, it's not good. But yeah, it was just frustration. I mentioned earlier, forgot to pick up the crawlers. So we'll see. I mean, it's beautiful out here. I think one of the things that I need to figure out is just try not to do too much on your first time out. I like this map. It's the Voyager series map. And actually what I did was I have the regular fold-out map. I took it to like a UPS store. And my original idea was to like try and photocopy a section of it, but that kind of got a little wonky. So I actually ended up just cutting out a, basically a 20, let's see. Well, this much, I think, so this is 11 by 17 roughly, not quite. So it must have been a 11 by 34 section that we basically cut out, folded, and then the guy laminated it and trimmed it. So, you know, I can work from here. And then when I need to move to the other side, I just flip it. I was trying to figure out too, in the boat when I was navigating, in the canoe rather, I was trying to clip it to my bag and then I had to unclip it, you know, whenever I had to Portage. So what I decided was I'm just going to throw it at the bottom of the canoe. I mean, the thing's really waterproof. So that was nice. I could just have it right down there. And sometimes it would slide forward towards me and I just put my foot on it and it ended up being perfect. So yeah, I'm really happy with that map. I don't think I'll need to use the GPS. I have it just in case. But I do want to use the inReach to connect with Andrea. Not a bad campsite, especially when it was right towards the end of the day. I checked out like 3. One of them had the kitchen was completely trashed. The fire grate was like ripped apart. So I finally started, when I found this one, I'm like, yep, it's the other thing that I learned yesterday, first time coming in solo, is to get to your campsite a little bit earlier, because setting up all this stuff, you're hungry, you're tired, trying to do this all this stuff in the dark, no bueno. Yeah, so this is something I just rigged up here about 10 minutes ago. It's not legit. It doesn't have the required camp knots. I learned some of those this summer, but just life got too busy, kind of forgot how to do them. But it's pretty secure. This is going to give me a lot of space during the day or during the evening. If it's raining out, for example, I don't have to sit in my tent all day. I can collect firewood, bring it back here. This thing goes like, it may not seem, you may not be able to tell that from the video, but this thing goes like 5 feet past me. So it's a huge canopy. I could dry clothes. I could, if I wanted to, I could get my morning coffee going here if it's a little bit raining. So this is really kind of something that is going to make things pretty easy, or at least a little more comfortable. So this is the view from inside my tarp. As you can see, there's a nice lookout onto the lake. To the left there is the kitchen. That's where the fire grate is. And, you know, I'll sit out there and hopefully I'll get a nice fire going tonight, and I'll just, you know, sit out there and chill. But yeah, if it's raining, it's going to be great to be under this tarp here and not inside the tent. A little further left, you can start to see the left side of the shelter there. And then panning to the right. Right, just getting back into the more woods. So yeah, I've got a nice little open field of view here. And this does allow, you know, the breeze to kind of come through. Feels pretty good. I'm happy. So this is just the water filtration system that I had set up. It's a platypus. You put your dirty water in there. There's a little valve that you can tell it when to start filtering. Runs down through the filter and then goes into my clean bag. So that's the stuff I'll drink, and I can detach the hose from the clean bag and put a little cap on it. So that allows me to, you know, I could drink right from the bag, pour it into a kettle, do whatever I want. And then every couple of filtrations, I'll actually hang the clean bag up higher than the dirty bag and flush clean water back through the filter system to keep the filter, to keep that bad boy nice and clean. So pretty happy with that. It's lightweight, very compactable. All right, let's go for a quick little dip here, shall we? Don't worry, I'm not going to be going shirtless for you people. This is going to be a quick one because it's a little chilly. Woo! Oh man, feels good though. Yeah, that feels good. Oh yeah, just something I needed. So thank you, Sophia, for asking me to read Jaws with you. Kind of messes with my mind when I'm out in this water, but boy do I feel good now. I mean, look at this. This is like absolutely beautiful. It's September 17th. When I was up here last year, it pretty much rained all, you know, almost every day. There's hardly any sun. And so I'm truly happy to have this type of experience. It is, you know, coming out alone is crazy. There's just, you have to do everything. So that's one thing that I'm learning, you know, more and more compared to the last 2 times I went. But I mean, when you get weather like this, I mean, it was a little chilly in there, but it feels so good right now. So yeah, I'll probably take another swim, you know, later today or tomorrow, who knows. I don't even want to leave camp right now because it's just so, I'm just so comfortable, but I got to get out and kind of explore some other sites. So leaving camp, it's a little windy. tough to take full strokes with this thing with the camera right there. And so yesterday I told these two guys about this spot, and I'm wondering if that was them that I just saw them pass by. So I'm not going to crowd them. Obviously, if they're there, I'm not going to go bug them. Seen 3 canoes out here since I've been out here. Pretty nice, isn't it? Is the island. I believe it's this one right here. Yes. You see that white kind of platform, that rock platform? That's where I caught some walleyes last year. And I'm actually going to pull the canoe up and see if I can get anything. Now is where I wish I had brought a little bit of rope so I could lash the front of the canoe to the tree there. I mean, it's pretty pinned in there, and I'm not going to be running around, so all right. Windy. Yeah, definitely a windy one. But hey, it is a beautiful day. September 17th. Little bright looking out there. I'm actually getting a little hungry. slippery. Oh. No need for a towel. Water's invigorating. It's got to be at least mid-70s right now. And that direct sun makes all this so much easier. I was thinking about trying to get down to Brule, which is southwest of here. It'd be a pretty hefty journey. But the problem is that I'm not sure the weather's going to be too accommodating. I'll have to check the forecast again. It's supposed to be pretty decent weather for the remainder of today. Chances of some maybe some thunderstorms tonight. Make sure I get everything battened down, if that's a term. Could you imagine if you were decided to sleep on this island? This is not technically a campground, so you shouldn't be. But this is what can happen to people in the woods. These are called widowmakers. You certainly don't want to be when you set up your tent. Now this could have just actually been a fierce blowdown, but you always want to be cognizant of not trying to sleep under dead trees. This water is hot. Anyway, no fish, but lots of fun. I think I'm going to make my way back to camp. I'm going to kind of get out to the little bit of the center of the lake and just let the current kind of take me in. Well, it won't completely take me in. I'm going to have to obviously paddle. but I can kind of chillax. I'll get over this little log here. We'll see. Yes. Okay. That is mixed pretty well. Let that sit for about 5. And in the meantime, I've got is it's this supposed to be, I think it's like a electrolyte beverage. I typically put it in cold water, but I've got just a little bit left here, and that's fine. Woo! It's a bit strong, but kind of a tasty treat. Definitely one of the things I found today was trail mix. I got the kind that had like big clumps of peanut butter in it. Quickly found out that when you're out in 75, 80 degree heat, you know, out on a lake, on a rock, trying to fish, that stuff kind of like rebakes basically. So I only had brought half of it with me. The other half is in my bag, and it's fine. But the stuff that I brought with me is now in the garbage just because it's way too gross and gooey. That is good. I just threw this long sleeve shirt on here about just before I started cooking. It's just been so pleasant today. I haven't caught them on film yet, but there's a couple squirrels and chipmunks that, I don't want to use the word vicious, but they'll enter the camp and like scamper along the log and it's like they're shouting at me. It's like they want me to feed them or something, you know? But obviously I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to encourage feeding any kind of wildlife. You know, I've figured out how to get my food bag up and down on the tree. You know, it's still probably not as high or far away from the tree as it needs to be, but it's a step in the right direction. There were so many things I studied this summer, like specific types of knots, hanging a bag in the tree, started looking at compass reading, and I just never really kind of fully absorbed it. So I'm kind of learning as I go right now, but that's fine too. The Garmin GPS, I know last time I spoke I was concerned, it's an InReach, sorry. Yeah, that's Garmin, right? I'm sorry if I'm screwing that up, but it's an InReach. So I unpaired. I was having a hard time connecting with Andrea through that, so I paired it with my phone again, and I was able to get her to understand that, hey, I'm okay, and she texted back and everything, so I know she's not worried about me. There's basically big slabs of like granite and stone sitting around the fire grate to help contain the fire, obviously. We've got things pretty much packed up. The bear bag hung. They said that there's about a 30%, the GPS thing that I'm using said that there's about a 30% chance of maybe some storms tonight, so I've got stuff pretty much packed up and all my gear stowed, so bring it. Check out that weather today. Initially it wasn't showing sunny skies until 11, but man, it looks like at 8 o'clock, mid 60s, by 10, 70s. It's going to be pretty much sunny and beautiful all day today. So instead of leaving at 11 for a wind chill, I think I'm going to leave within the next hour or so. So I was filtering my water, and I got done. It was just about done filtering, and I was coming back over here to the kitchen, and I heard this like heavy kind of clomping sound. Oddly enough, almost kind of like when you're plunging your toilet. Just like this. And I didn't know what it was. I went out down to the lake and looked out across the lake, didn't see anything. And it sounded like it was coming on, it was on shore, maybe 150 yards away from me, down shore, on the same side of the shore of mine. And the only thing I could think of potentially is that it could have been a moose that had maybe just swum the lake or had been walking the shoreline and decided to go inland. I'm not sure. I did go down the trail for a little bit, but you know, I'm not gonna put myself in harm's way. So anyway, a little excitement for this morning. I'm gonna get coffee going and get ready to get out of here. Wow, that was a pretty strenuous day. Started paddling at about, I don't know, a little after 9, I guess. And just got in at, I don't know, 3:30. Wind chill was a nasty, well, there was quite a few moments where going along wind chill and then having to cut across this open water to head back north was insane. I didn't have any ballast in my canoe, that's like, I didn't have any weight in the front or the back of the canoe, so the wind makes the canoe go like this. So that was pretty crazy. But, you know, I got through it. I'm back at camp. I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna go swimming. I'm gonna eat some food. I'm just gonna sit here. It's been a wonderful trip. I'm gonna get going a little earlier tomorrow just in case the wind is an issue again. But yeah, so this may be, and there was no way I took some video and photos on my day trip today, but not a lot. Anyway, I look forward to seeing everybody tomorrow evening. I told people that they should hear from me by 2 p.m. tomorrow when I'm at the Outfitters. Bye. The pooper. I'll be leaving Gaskin Lake here in probably 15 minutes or so. I've been able to figure out the ballast a little bit more. Got some water up there. I do need to actually shift my gear back though. I think that'll help. This is a little island actually. There's a campsite. You can't really see it here, but it's right at the end of that island there. All right, moving on. All right, just gonna hand hold this, doing a portage here, coming off Gaskin, going to Horseshoe, about 1,600 feet. And I'm double portaging, which means I actually have my heavy pack back at the portage entrance. So it's the canoe, that water bag up front, some electronics, trail, I can definitely see why people that do this a lot and document this stuff, YouTube bloggers, why they do GoPro on this kind of stuff. Nice little hill. Hey, Mr. Canoe. Nice little rocks and stuff to navigate. Whew. Sorry about all the heavy breathing here. I definitely not in shape. It's kind of my biggest regret coming out here. I did a little bit of running in the summer, but not enough. And I should have done a little bit of upper body strength too. Yeah, my initial plan was to single portage, meaning carry my pack and the canoe at the same time. No. That ended up not being I mean, this canoe only weighs about like 32 pounds. Got a couple things on it. Probably had about 34, 35, I think. Maybe not even that, maybe 32. Come on, buddy.
Thank you.
I pulled over into the observation lane here.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Enjoy. You got it. Okay.
Thank you so much.
I hope my gear's out of your way when you get down there. Apologies ahead of time if it isn't.
No worries, I understand. There might be a guy right behind you.
Yeah. He's catching up. You better get moving, bro. How you doing?
Thank you.
You will remain anonymous on my video, I promise. Enjoy your trip, bro.
Thank you.
Sorry. All right, so those guys were coming from the Portage on the other end of this Portage, and it looks to be like they're double portaging too. So notice they just had their canoes with them, and so they're gonna come back this way to grab their gear. Howdy, sir.
Howdy.
How you doing this fine day?
Good.
All right. Appreciate it. Some awesome weather ahead of you. So those were, again, the first two guys were carrying tandem canoes. Reach down and get this. So the first two guys were carrying tandem canoes. And the two older guys that were following were canoeing with them. Tandem canoe means, you know, more than one person in each canoe. So there's four in their party. First two guys carried the canoes. Second two guys carried their own gear. Then the first two guys will come back and grab their gear. So that's how that works. And maybe, you know, the next time they do a portage, the older guys will carry the canoes and then go back for their gear. So we'll see what happens. I mean, no we won't. I'm not going to be following them around. All right, so here we are. Set my canoe down, then I'll go back for my gear. I'm cruising actually. I just got through that portage, as you saw, from Gaskin over to Horseshoe, and it's 9:45. I think I took off at about maybe 8:40, so not even an hour to get across Gaskin through the portage and getting onto Horseshoe now. So pretty happy with the time I'm making. Screen on. All right, we are at just getting onto Caribou Lake. You see the blue dot there. I'm gonna just cruise around here, skirt through these islands, and then we'll have a portage, and the portage is not bad at all. Once I get onto Lizz Lake, It's just about 3/4 of a mile paddle. Should be an easy one. And then another portage. Remember, it's right at this spot where I got caught in that downpour coming in on Monday. Anyway, get onto this portage, hug the shoreline of Poplar Lake to the left, get around these islands, and then into the outfitters. This is about 3/4 of a mile. Close, in between 3/4 to a mile. And once I'm at the end of Lizz Lake, which again is where I got caught in the downpour on Monday night, that's going to be basically the end of the Boundary Waters. And I'll be going into Poplar Lake.